In command of the mail steamer, Captain Cartwright, one of the senior masters on the British Rail cross-channel run. For him, this is another trip to log in a record showing thousands of sea crossings from this southern port to Guernsey and Jersey. Today, the boat crossing is made in luxury and comfort. The old days, the not-so-good old days for anyone who's a regular visitor to these shores, are now just history. Instead of wooden slatted benches and exposed decks, the passenger can relax in leather-upholstered armchairs in air-conditioned shelter. These Channel Island boats are designed for this modern day and age. Every possible aid to navigation has been installed to ensure that, fine weather or foul, fog or sun, the crossing is made in a few short hours as the vessel clips along at a steady 20 knots. In fact, by the time the visitor has settled in aboard and taken a meal in the restaurant or browsed through the duty-free shops on board, the distance between England and his or her destination has been reduced by more than a half. At the height of the summer season, the daily mail steamer will bring in 1,500 or 1,600 passengers to the Channel Island ports of St. Peter Port and St. Helier. In the engine room of the Sarnia, the days of sweat and toil are too just history, remembered only by the senior hands like the chief engineer, who began life on an old coal burner. Sarnia's power comes from massive turbines which hum gently as the twin shafts churn out the propeller revolutions. In here, a man can begin the day in a white overall and finish without so much as a grease stain. His life below decks is, like the passengers above him, one of air-conditioned cleanliness. This kind of trip is a seal setter for most holidays. It is perhaps a way of shaking out the smoke of industrial Britain, of forgetting the day-to-day hustle and bustle of the other 49 weeks of the year, and the way of clearing the mind, ready to absorb the fresh air and carefree days of holiday in the most southerly outpost of the British Isles. For perhaps 1/3 of the complement of passengers, maybe more, the end of the line is now just minutes away. Approaching St. Peter Port's main harbour. Everything around you is suddenly filled with excitement. The town, the islands lying further to the south, the small boats. Would all passengers for Guernsey prepare to disembark? Ashore on the British Rail jetty, gangs of stevedores and cranemen are ready to tie the ship up. This is just a brief stopping point for the Sarnia. Captain Cartwright must discharge his Guernsey passengers, discharge the cars. Many people bring their cars with them to these islands, put ashore cargo, and then prepare for sea again and Jersey. The holiday really begins. For some people, this is their first feel of Channel Islands terra firma. A cab to the hotel or guest house, and then into the sunshine of an English-speaking duty-free holiday playground. Passing some of the Guernsey coast, the passenger will have noticed landmarks, some the relics of the German occupation, other relics of the Napoleonic Wars when the English garrisons built their defences to stop the French invaders. But these can be explored later. Right now it's time to shed those hometown clothes and get with it in true holiday style on the beaches of Guernsey. Miles of safe golden sands and blue seas. You can hire cars to get around the island. A number of drive-yourself car firms operate in and around St. Peter Port and the other small resort areas of Guernsey. prices are reasonable, and as for petrol, well, Mr. Callahan's budget doesn't have any effect here. Whether you go by hire car, coach, or the public transport, you'll find a tremendous variety in Guernsey of things to see, places to go, and things to do. For the energetic, there could be a game of water polo. For those who like to watch others expend their energy, then just sit back and relax. Coming from Britain, or even from France for that matter, as the Channel Islands are attracting more and more French tourists, that hard-earned cash can go further. You see, these islands were granted their charter of self-government 400 years ago. And because our commitments are not the same as Great Britain's, the benefits of low taxation and no purchase tax are there for the resident and the tourist alike. The shops in St. Peter Port, on the not-so-fine days when everyone isn't on the beach, can be a real eye-opener. Cigarettes, perfume, wines and spirits, leather goods, all these and many more you'll buy cheaper than you can at home. St. Peter Port itself is built on the side of a hill. Its narrow cobbled streets are prohibited to traffic for most of the day, and so the shopper can walk where he likes, almost, and explore the arcades, the Paulette, Smith Street and the Old Market. The markets in St. Peter Port were built, believe it or not, from the proceeds of a lottery years ago when the islanders had the power to raise cash for public projects in this way. The days of the lotteries are long gone, but the markets remain, and for the visitor, it's another place of interest to visit, to look and to buy. And don't go away, Holiday Parade is back in a moment.